Welcome to the Queer Confidence Podcast, the podcast to help you become your most confident queer self. I'm your host, he, she, they, Coach Alex Ray, and I haven't always been this confident. In fact, I used to be super insecure. And through this show, I want to share with you what's worked for me, my clients, and my guests so that you can become more confident. Well, hello, my magical unicorns. I kind of like that intro. Do you think I should keep that? Yeah? Every week you want to be magical unicorns? I mean, hell, that is what we are, right? Us queers, we are the magical unicorns of the world. I love it. All right. Hi, my name is Alex Ray. I am a queer life coach. So I help people in the queer community become confident. I want to give you a little intro to my story and who I am so you have a little bit of a better idea. And then, throughout this podcast, you'll get to hear more of my experiences and such and my story. So we're going to become really great friends here. And then we will dive into today's topic. It's step 1 to becoming confident. So who am I, right? Hi, my name is Alex, and I am a gay man. And I grew up in a very conservative, very legalistic Christian home. And one of the biggest, issues that was in my head for all of my life was just this overbearing sense of shame and insecurity. And I used to wish that I could just spend 5 minutes not living in my own head, because my own thoughts were just so consuming. And I was always hyper analyzing everything that I did and that I said and my mannerisms and what are people thinking of me and are they liking me? Are they not liking me? And I remember just being overwhelmed by feeling like I was watching life go by on this TV screen and hyper analyzing. And I would have done anything to just have 5 minutes of feeling confident and feeling like I was truly living instead of just surviving. And I had been in and out of therapy and on and off of medications and everything. I had severe depression. And in 2017, I was done with life. And I had been planning for years. I knew exactly what I would do. And that year I did attempt suicide. And I'll tell you more about that story later, but thankfully I was unsuccessful and I got a lot of help, in the hospital and then the mental health facility that I was in afterwards and in therapy. And we worked on overcoming a lot of these thought patterns that I had. And what I didn't realize is that really my whole life had been kind of spent trying to just feel like I'm enough, like I'm worthy. I mean, I had done it all to try to earn value and overcome insecurity. I had worked out like crazy and built this perfect body with chiseled abs. You know what? It didn't feel like enough. And I overworked and had a job that was paying really well. And I worked a lot of hours. And then I started building a fitness coaching business on the side. And I was burnt out. But I was always constantly working and hustling to sort of earn value. And I was working on my body to try to, be worthy. And none of it ever really healed that hole. And so in process of coming back from that year, and then in just realizing, hey, this is a problem and I don't think I'm the only one, I was like, I gotta figure this out. I want to understand, why are some people confident and some aren't? And is it like, it seems like people are born with it. Why do all those people that are born with confidence, what do they have that I don't have? Spoiler alert, it is not something that anyone is born with. But the best part of that is it means I and you are totally capable of becoming confident. So we are going to talk about all things on here. Self-love. What does that even mean? Because that's sort of an overused phrase and sounds so vague. We're going to talk about being comfortable with you, yourself, your identity, what that really means. We're going to be talking about overcoming people pleasing. We're going to be talking about overcoming imposter syndrome. We're going to be talking about overcoming any area of life where you're feeling insecure. And my mission is to really help decrease the rate of suicide in our community and increase the number of thriving queer people. People that are doing what they love, what they are talented in, and what they have always feared pursuing. I want to see queer people accomplishing their dreams, because the world, I truly believe, would be a better place with all of us being our most authentic selves. And for me, that's a rainbow and unicorn with lots of glitter. So let's dive in with how to allow discomfort. That is step 1 to becoming confident. Now, this sounds like a horrible thing, right? What the hell? You're telling me I need to have more discomfort? And honestly, I can't imagine anything sounding more discouraging in the place that I was several years ago and where you might find yourself today. The problem is, though, while you are experiencing a lot of discomfort, our community has become professional at not allowing it. We are very good at escaping. We've got booze and sex and social media and Grindr and drugs and partying. We have got anything at our fingertips in our modern world, so that the moment feelings of insecurity, of self-loathing, any of those things start coming up, we can immediately get an escape as fast as 60 seconds. And the problem is, the more that we do this, the more that we avoid discomfort, the more our insecurity grows. Because every time that we escape, we create more evidence for our brain that, hey, I am not capable of enduring crappy feelings. I'm not capable of overcoming these scenarios. I'm not capable of having a difficult conversation with my boss or my partner. I'm not capable of being or feeling lonely and being alone and learning how to be my own best companion. And because we have all of these escapes, we keep perpetuating these negative feelings that we're trying to escape. So The first step, and I'm going to give you some practical examples, but the first step is that allowing of discomfort. So when you start experiencing uncomfortable things, like I like to think of the scenario of us being our authentic selves around our parents, because many of us can relate to that. For me, it's like wearing a brightly colored shirt and high heels or something around my parents. It's really funny. I actually went the other day to my parents' house to drop off my dog for a little while. And you'll hear all about Gideon in the podcast. But I was wearing a pair of high heels, and I don't even remember why. Or what I was, why? Oh yeah, I think I was going out to dinner with a friend or something, and I wore heels. Anyway, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want my parents to see. And I was like, oh my goodness, what the hell? This is literally what I teach my clients to not do, is to avoid that discomfort. And so what I was feeling in that moment was shame, right? And what you may have felt before too with your parents, especially around your sexuality or your identity, whatever it is, whatever part of the community you're in. I'm guessing that your parents are probably heteronormative people, and it can be difficult for us to be our most authentic selves around them because we want them to like us. We don't want to disappoint them, and we don't want them to sort of think bad things about us. But the problem is, what's going on is we have shame inside of our head. And shame is a belief that something is wrong with me. Not, I did something wrong, but like, I am wrong. And so we avoid showing our more authentic self to our parents. And that can be through an outward thing. It can also be through conversation, avoiding certain topics, or heading into other topics with them. And we try to avoid being authentic because we have the shame around it, and we don't want our parents then to confirm it. So, how do we start building confidence here, right? How do we start decreasing the insecurity when other people are disapproving? We have to start by allowing the uncomfortable shit to happen. We have to start by allowing discomfort. And what that looks like in this example is going to be, me not hiding that I'm wearing high heels from my parents and letting them ask the question, where are you going? It's being true to who you are in the moment and allowing other people to maybe feel uncomfortable and allowing yourself to feel uncomfortable. Allowing your brain to experience the shame or any other negative thoughts that are coming up. And if the other person doesn't like it, the thought that would come from confidence is, they're just missing out on me. This is part of me, and I'm sorry they're missing out. Sorry for them, but I'm not sorry for who I am. Now, we don't want to do it from a place of being like defensive and like, suck it, losers. Here's me. Ah. Because that is the opposite of what we're talking about. That is still coming from a place of defensiveness. It's still coming from a place of putting our walls up to try to avoid being hurt. That is not helpful, and that does not help build your confidence ever. Instead, it puts a wall of what our brain thinks is protection between us and the other person. And what it actually does is just hold us back from even experiencing any kind of negative reaction from them. So if I act way, above and beyond to my parents and like giving them the middle finger proverbially, then I'm going to just feel a much easier time ignoring their response. So what I ended up doing in that scenario would be actually avoiding discomfort still. So instead, if you want to start building confidence, you have to allow the scenario to be uncomfortable. Just relax into who you are. Be that. Allow people not like it. And then I'll teach you in these next 2 steps how to have your back, okay? But for now, just know that first step is just allowing it to be present. The other area where you want to make sure you are allowing discomfort and not escaping it is when you realize that it's in your head, that your thoughts are just creating your own discomfort. And usually we try to rush and escape it and hurry up and change it. So let me give you an example. You walk into a room and your thought might be, oh my gosh, all these people probably hate me. They probably don't like me. They wouldn't like me. And then the other part of your brain starts kicking in with logic and going, oh no, I know that's just all in my head. They probably do like me. There's probably some people at least here that like me. Shut up, brain. Don't say it. The problem is, though, if you are relying on switching that thought to feel better and sort of arguing with it, it doesn't do any good, right? Come on, I know you've experienced this. You've tried to argue with yourself and say, hey, look, I know logically that some of these people like me or don't mind me. Not everyone hates me. But it didn't do any good because you were immediately trying to replace a thought with something you didn't believe yet. And in the long run, you didn't do anything to actually help your confidence because you still reinforced this belief that there would have to be somebody in the room that likes you for you to be okay. So instead of rushing from when you realize that your brain might be making something up, instead of trying to rush and correct it, it's actually better to sit with it and ask yourself, yeah, what if that's true? What if you are surrounded in a room by people that don't like you? How could that be okay? How could you be okay with that? How could you survive that? How could you be calm within that? And that truly is the essence of confidence. Confidence is the ability to create your own calm in any circumstance. So, when you start feeling yourself have insecurities, negative thought patterns, any type of discomfort, whether it be a circumstance you're in, whether it be up to other people, or whether it be thoughts that you have on your own that you know aren't real, like everyone in this room hates me. Instead of rushing to get rid of that, whether it be through something obvious like, booze, sex, alcohol. Oh wait, booze and alcohol are the same thing. Grinder, working out, working lots of hours at work, overworking to, please your boss, whatever. when you realize that you're doing something to immediately rush to comfort, I want you to stop and just take a breath and realize that in this moment, you are capable. You're capable of allowing this very uncomfortable thing. You're capable of getting through it. Then you'll also be able to be there for yourself and to give that inner you love, care, attention. And we're going to be talking about that in the second and third step. For now, just focus on allowing yourself to experience discomfort without looking for an escape button. That's it. It's simple. It's a little hard to get used to. But I promise you, my friend, if you start practicing even just this one step, you will absolutely, without a doubt, boost your confidence. All right, my friend, I'll see you next week on step 2. Bye. If you enjoyed this episode, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend so they too can become more confident. You can also help more people find the show by leaving a 5-star review wherever you listen. And if you want to become a more confident queer with support from yours truly, head to CoachAlexRay.com or use the link down in the show notes. I'm looking forward to working with you.